JB here. September 24th, 2024, 305, 306 here on this a fine Tuesday. Talk really quick about some of the names I'm looking at, just really quick about the markets, go from there. But take a look at a SPY, a little bigger range than yesterday, slightly in the green. We had dipped at the open all the way down to 567 and change at about 10:30. Bounced by the noontime to the 571 handle. Have been chopping pretty much ever since. If you look at the candles, very similar to the last four sessions. Market is closed between the highs and the lows, so almost like doji candles. And dojis are typically undecided for the market, so it means there's indecision per se. If that's what you want to know what the doji candle means, but to me, especially the fact that we're near and at all-time highs on the indexes, it probably bodes well for some churn, some consolidation, and then the next leg to the upside. Um, Not much now. We got the Fed speak almost out of the way. Then we have Fed Chair Powell Thursday. 9:20, I think, is prepared remarks. It says by video. I don't know what that means. I don't know if he's going to say anything earth-shattering. You also have the probability of a 0.5% rate hike going up to 50% now at the next Fed meeting, which I believe is end of October, November. And yeah, so interesting stuff here. Yeah, so some similar chop that we've had the last couple sessions. At some point, we'll have some kind of larger move. Of course, I'm biased to the upside. We'll see how that plays out. All right, so individual names. SE, so China had that stimulus overnight stimulus news. You see all these China ADRs just going bonkers. NetEase is up 8%. BABA's up 8%. Baidu's up 7%. A lot of these other names are just going bonkers. A lot of that's a function of them being pretty much depressed and at lows for the last year or so. It's almost like a relief rally. Now, will it stick? You know my thoughts on Baidu. I would love to dabble in some Baidu calls, but I'll probably just be cautious here. But it's a name I'll talk about at the end. But that goes to 105, 110 in the coming days. But needless to say, so SE gapped higher at the open, all the way up. Well, in the pre-market was at 93. I think it 92.85 was the high this morning, about 9:30 right at the open. I went and locked some of my calls in for over 100%, and I held the rest. And I'm probably just going to wait to see how tomorrow works out. If it gaps again tomorrow, I'll look to close more of the October strikes and add maybe some 110 strikes to play for a move over that 100 handle. Not going to go on a rant about how much I love the story. You can listen on the rant this morning, or you can go back to August. I see someone, you can direct message me. I'll find some of the rants where I talk about SE a little more in detail, but like this one for a nice break. So that's SE. Visa, what else? They always say luck is when preparation meets opportunity. I I would call having the news from the Department of Justice that they're going to file, and they actually filed a suit, antitrust suit against Visa. That's the luck part of it, right? But I'll take it, right? I mean, when you're trading, I'll take luck over anything any day of the week, because there's been a lot of trades over the years where luck has played a big part of it. But here it is. I talked about adding more strikes when it broke under 280, but I thought my puts will be up substantially more. So because of that, I'll just hold my 270. Sorry, I locked some in for a little over 100% and a little over 200%. And what is that up there? And I'll just continue to hold the last of those. I put the chart and I posted in the chat room. The 50-day and the 200-day moving average are pretty close. 271 and change for the 200, 270 for the 50-day. That almost looks like a magnet. So maybe I'll lock just a few more if that hits later today or tomorrow. And then I'll just hold the last couple just in case we get a little more waterfall action. But you can see all it's taking is a little news. And I don't even think it's big news. There's been antitrust and suits and all this garbage over the years from Amazon, Google, Microsoft, you name it. All the big companies have gone through this. So, and it's not like it came out of left field. I think there's been talk about it. There's been talk about the fees for debit transaction. There's been all this chatter. So I don't think it's anything out of left field. And then you have some people saying, "Oh, this is a political stunt because you're gonna have the new regime come in, get this done before the new regime comes in." Who knows? I'll take it. So that's kind of the plan there. And I think it comes down to test 271 or so. So riding freebies takes out the emotion. Now I have profits as well. And then just continue to work on that. And that's the plan there on Visa. Redfin, it's holding in there. It's slightly in the green, up 1%. If you look at the chart, and I keep trying to to look at the daily, and it's higher highs and higher lows. So back in August, when it ran from 750 or so all the way up to 1150, it dipped down into 950, churned there for a bit, then back up all the way up to 15, and now it seems like the next leg, or at least a little profit taking. Well, hopefully that'll find support there around. I hope today was the day, but 1250 or 12 to 1250, and then that could be the next leg to the upside. So I keep saying I need Redfin to get back over 15 and close above that, or at least hold that area for a little while before I add more strikes, but still like that one for upside. Clear Secure, similar to the S&P, very tight candles the last couple sessions, all the way up to 33.31 at the noon hour, and it's just been churning here. Still like that one for 34 in the coming days, and then 30, 36 plus in the coming weeks. VKTX, not much to add on this, and I just good to rehash some of these and kind of so you get a chance to look at the charts, but down another 3% today. No news, no catalyst. There's NVO was having a hearing today in regards to drug pricing. To me, anytime there's pricing issues with GLP-1 drugs, I think it's a net positive for the market, right? I think the less expensive or the more available those drugs, the GLP-1 products are, I think the bigger the business is going to be. It's just how it is. A lot of people, it's out of touch for most people if they have to pay out of pocket. And then the only way a lot of people do is if their insurers get them for diabetes or some other workaround, right? So to me, the lower the prices come down, and Wall Street Journal had that great, I don't know if it was last week, around this battle with Ozempic and Zepbound and Wegovy. They're all cutting prices, and then LOY has their direct to consumer now. So I think this is all a net positive, but for some reason VKTX can't find its footing. Again, it's got to get over 70, and then 75 plus is when I might add some more strikes. So I'll just hold my Octobers. I keep talking about Corbis Pharmaceuticals. Almost added some of the 25s earlier, and then I passed. The spread was a little wide, so I'm like, oh, let me just wait. And here it is, pretty much right at lows. And now you start looking; it almost looks like a falling knife. So I'll continue to wait, but I at some point this is going to bounce because I think the fact that it's oversold based on their CB1 study, which is not even in any kind of phase trial yet, and wasn't even, in my opinion, baked too much in valuation. At least the big valuation boost that it got at the start of the year just doesn't make sense to me. So, but again, sometimes in the pharma world, a lot of these stocks don't make sense. And then the other part is the cash element, right? And that's one of the reasons why I really like Turn, is because it has 50% of its valuation, or it used to be, was cash, and they had plenty of runway without having to worry about diluting shareholders and things like that. But I'll just sit on the sidelines, but at some point, don't be surprised if I add some of those calls. Oh, yeah, and then last but not least is Baidu. So if you look, when I had the calls back in July, that big pincher, it ran from the 80s all the way up to I think it hit 107, and then pulled all the way back. The robo taxi, their Ernie AI, there's a lot of different moving parts with Baidu. And to me, I think it's an underappreciated stock. If I was looking for a play in China, not SE, SE is more Asia, the Southeast Asia kind of play, but Malaysia and all that fun stuff, but Indonesia. Baidu is more just a straight China play in regards to the robo taxis, AI partnerships with Tesla. Uh, so Apple, I it's been disappointing. And when the stock moves, just because it didn't even, last time we had the pullback, it wasn't because anything fundamentally changed with the stock or the company. It was because the overall China economy is just keeps reporting disappointing results. So it's trading more in tandem with the China market than it is on its own. So I was hoping it would trade on its own merits. Maybe this is it. I'm kind of itching to maybe add some strikes here, but probably just wait on the sidelines. But don't be surprised if that itch turns into something. You look at the chart, 200-day moving average is just a little bit under $100, 99.53. So that could be the next target. And there's been times over the past, I'm trying to remember, I don't know if it was 2014, maybe it was probably earlier than that. The China markets went on a tear, and it seemed like every morning the China ADR stocks would gap, and it would be up 5%. Baidu would be up 5%. Baba would be up 5%. And it happened every day for a week. So I don't know if this is it and this is the start of it, but I'll probably, I'll be patient, because if the China markets rally again overnight, SE will gap as well. So I think that's it, folks. We have 45 minutes to the open. I talked about it yesterday. I was looking at some of these big tech bio names that I might get some calls in. Biogen was a name I was looking at. Regeneron, I had on the watch list yesterday. They got downgraded, so that's taking it on the chin. Biogen, which had a partnership they announced this morning. You had some analysts to upgrade. Needham reiterate their buy buy on a Biogen $285 price target, but the stock sold off right at the open, so I passed. At some point, I'll look to revisit some of those names, just because I think there's especially in Biogen. You look at Biogen, it's kind of been left to dead, left for dead, not left to dead. That's it, folks. Let's have a great afternoon. Rock and roll.